if you're more into the keyboard. You know what I mean? More here rather than out. Okay?
How about the compare with the dress code?
I think it's exactly the same, I think. I mean, I think that I think your classical teacher would probably tell you the same thing, that you want to be careful. When the music is very big and you have to pound, yeah, okay, you have to get weight into it. But when you're practicing scales, do you practice da, da, dee, da, right? You probably don't do that. It's the same thing, I think. So.
Because the motion is from classical.
Or like this? Oh, okay. Well, here's where I have to say I'm not a piano player, but the piano professor at my school says this all the time. His teachers also. So you might ask JB about that.
So, do you think does she have time problem?
In the trading force, I think when you're concentrating, it's fine. There's some spots in the trades where you're just playing, and I think you weren't, excuse me, you weren't focusing on the time, and there it just got a little like this. But I think it's good. I think we can always try to get better. But same for bass and drums. When I play, I don't want, if I'm playing acoustic, I'm not going that. My time is going to be really bad. I try to do everything very minimal. On drums, it's not like this. It's the more motion you have, the less accurate it is. I feel. So it goes for piano. I think so. And piano is more here, but definitely bass and drums. I think also.
예상대로 말이지만 무슨 얘기 알겠어요? 모션이 그냥 그만큼 정확한 타이밍이나 톤을 유지하기 힘들다고 예상하는 것입니다.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the piece that you played. Have you tried some different things with the arrangements, like maybe playing in have you played in two feel?
똑같은 곡을 쳤을 때
No, so straight. You've listened to people, right? You listen to jazz. You listen to a lot of jazz.
다른 쪽이 막
Yeah. Do you know what I mean by two feel?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you've heard people do it. So why don't we try? Just because on a blues tune like that, it's very standard for the rhythm section to play two on the head. Okay. So let's experiment with that. What that means basically is that you're playing half notes instead of quarter notes. Boom, 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 ba-dum, dum, dum, boom, ba-da-dum, ba-ding, ba-dum, boom, ba-ding, rather than quarters, right? Let's just try the excuse me. Let's try the head, the top in two. Just experiment. We'll see what happens. Okay. Okay. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so playing in two mostly affects the bass player, right? The challenge in playing in two is to make it half notes but still sound like you're playing quarter notes. And I'll demonstrate that.
느낌은 베이스
Right. Do the same thing. Same thing. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. playing half notes, but a lot of implying quarter note feel, not. But. So you still feel quarter note level, not half note level, right? Okay, I just wanted to talk about that just for a second. Okay, so the other thing that I think I could use a little bit more in the group, the connection between the left hand and the snare drum. Those are like almost one of the very important combinations in the jazz, especially in the piano trio. Okay, so she was playing in the head. So a lot of anticipation, syncopation. So when you're a drummer, you have to really listen for her left hand. And you can set up a little, I mean, it doesn't have to be like every beat, that gets a little old, but you can meet up a lot with her left hand in your snare drum. Okay? So let's play the melody one more time and really listen to her left hand and see if you can meet a couple places with her left hand. Okay. In your solo, also when you're improvising, you're focusing on your lines, which is great, but also maybe a little part be thinking about how you're comping for yourself. And I think really good piano players, it's like two separate instruments, played by one person, but they'll play a line, answer, play a line, answer, play a line, answer, and you can help her with the answers. So you can listen for those left hand hits, So let's try a little bit of can you play some solo for us? And think about first of all, for everyone, think about starting your improvisation a little bit more simply. So you're not starting right away playing so many notes, because then your solo is going to get very boring, I think. So, so start simple, clear idea. Try to think for at least the first two choruses. Try to think about every note before you play it. Yeah.
공간을 많이 만들어도 될 것 같아요. 처음부터 많이 달리기 시작하면 대부분 지루해지기 때문에 처음에는 좀 공간을 많이 만들어서 친절히 주고 그 치는 모든 노트들을 다 생각해서 치는 거예요. 그냥 달리지 말고.
Okay, so you're listening for left hand. You're thinking about space a little bit and playing, answering, playing, answer. Okay? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. The first idea. So play with me. 1, 2, 3.